pledge the allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So do I need to call these guys over there? Roll call, please.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Here.
Lewis? Morgan?
Here.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Motion to excuse Councilperson Lewis, please.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda? So moved.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
We will move to reports. Mayor, do you have a report tonight?
Yes, everyone should have received their city edition. I believe it came out last Thursday or Friday, so everyone should have that. We do have some spare copies here in the city hall if anyone missed that. Also, I'd like to remind everyone that we have our community conversations next Tuesday. This is the 5th Tuesday of the month. It starts at 7 to 8:30. We'll have our directors there. We also are having entertaining our school superintendent. She'll have a table there. I did also attend a school forum this morning. They had a forum kind of going over the strategic plan and some of the initiatives that the school is going forward and going to implement. So that was very informative. And so I think they're doing some outreach in the future weeks for that. And so if there's any questions, obviously you can come to talk to her at the community conversations also. So that concludes my report. I'd be happy to comment as we go along.
Thank you, Mayor. Fire Chief Art Newman.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President Henry, Mayor Roche, members of council, members of the community. Just a couple of items this evening. We have a CPR course scheduled at the fire station on Monday, October 5th, 2015. It will be held from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Division of Fire, in partnership with University Hospital. Richmond Medical Center offers bi-monthly CPR courses to residents of Richmond Heights. The Heart Saver CPR AED course is a classroom video-based instructor-led course that teaches adult CPR and AED use, as well as how to relieve choking on an adult. Interested residents can call me at 216-383-6304 if they're interested. Class size is limited to 12 students per class. I've already had 9 people sign up for this upcoming class. This class is free to residents of Richmond Heights. This course is for the general public. It is not the health care provider course. We do have Fire Prevention Week coming up October 4th through the 10th. This year's catchphrase is, "Hear the beep where you sleep." The key message of this year's Fire Prevention Week campaign is to install smoke alarms in every bedroom outside each separate sleeping area and on every level of your home, including the basement. Smoke alarms save lives. If there is a fire in your home, smoke spreads fast, and you need smoke alarms to give you time to get out. In fact, having a working smoke alarm cuts the chances of dying in a reported fire in half. When it comes to smoke alarms, it's about location, location, location. Firefighters encourage all residents to make a habit of changing the batteries in their smoke detectors at least twice a year, at the beginning and the end of daylight savings time. And daylight savings time is is November 1st, ends November 1st, 2015 this year. During Fire Prevention Week, firefighters will be visiting schools, daycares, and businesses in our communities to encourage this important safety message, as well as speaking about fire safety in general. So remember, the catchphrase this year is "Hear the beat where you sleep." That concludes my report, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them. Yes, sir.
Did we provide any assistance over on 271 today?
Yes, sir, we did. We did receive a call for mutual aid. There was a vehicle accident on Interstate 271 southbound in Highland Heights near the Wilson Mills exit. We provided an engine company mutual aid to that response. Firefighters from Richmond Heights did assist in that incident. The cause is still under investigation. I also responded to that call to assist the command team.
What was in that truck?
One of the vehicles had beauty supplies such as peroxides and items used normally for hair coloring, for example, as well as and there was a fire involved, which a lot of that was due to the Class A combustible contents and the fuel that was in the trucks themselves.
Not a pretty picture.
It was, firefighters did get it quickly under control, but there was a lot of flame involvement.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Chief Rowe is on vacation, right? Building Commissioner Phil Sebo.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor Roach, and members of council, and staff and visitors. I wanted to tell you that next year I'll be attending the International Code Council's code hearings out on the West Coast. This is a event that happens once a year, and I wanted to just give you a 2-minute report on what happens. Most of you would never, I'm sure, never cross your mind as to how building codes or fire codes come to be, but during this event that happens every year, industry representatives and members of the general public can make suggestions to the International Code Council on the floor of this conference as to what changes, adds, or subtractions that they think should happen to our building codes. Such things such as different smoke alarm rules, or they might have to do with, in recent years there have been a lot of changes suggested because of the 9/11 incidents. Extra stairways in high-rise buildings were suggested. There have been a lot of different avenues of suggestion. When these suggestions are made, they're debated on the floor of the council by people who are both for and against the changes. Obviously, people who are against the changes are people such as home builders or commercial builders that don't want their projects to be more expensive than they already are. People that obviously are for changes are usually special interest groups that are representing senior groups or children's groups or other such groups that want various codes enacted. Once they're debated, the various delegates from the states, of which I'm one, vote on them. They vote on them electronically from the floor, and the vote is counted. There is also a remote voting on some items nowadays from people that don't have to attend the conference at all. Once the votes are tallied and the International Code Council, the ICC, decides whether or not to, according to these votes, whether or not to include the new code in their international code, then the international code comes to the state level, and the state of Ohio has a similar suggestion period in their public hearing comments as to whether the state of Ohio wants to adopt that same code the same way the International Code Council adopted it. So it's kind of a complicated process, but it's a very democratic process, and that's basically how our building codes, our electrical codes, our fire codes, all these things come into being in today's modern society. So I'll be part of the Ohio delegation next week that'll be voting on the newest ideas that will be presented, and I'll let you know what any interesting things come up. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that the school barricades issue that I reported on a month or two ago is in fact now being worked on by the Ohio Board of Building Standards because of the acceptance of or the adoption of the idea by the General Assembly as part of their budget bill. The Board of Building Standards has now been charged with coming up with some rules by which these barricades are going to be used. They are still working on that, and they're not expected to have anything until February, March, at which time we'll have public hearings on those things too. So I'll let you know as those things develop. In the meantime, school districts, some school districts are already purchasing devices at the behest of manufacturers that are out selling their junk. And the Board of Building Standards has advised school districts and school boards not to purchase anything until the rules are adopted and we find out exactly what items or what criteria these items will be judged by. So that'll be happening over the next couple of months also, and I'll certainly report on that to you also. So that's all that I have to report tonight. I'll be happy to answer questions.
And that's next week you're going to.
It's all next week, yes.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good trip, learn a lot. Finance Director is not here.
Yeah, Finance Director has gone to a financial conference, financial conferences down in Cincinnati.
Okay, thank you. Service Department Director Donald Kerniski.
Thank you, Madam President. I put in your packets two pictures of just a snapshot of what we just had done, a mapping program in the city. And it's been completed. The final results will be to us in probably 3 weeks. They're putting it all together on a computer printout for us. But the snapshot is around the City Hall area here. And if you notice, the City Hall is not there because it's an older picture. But it's the grid that we're looking at, the street that we're looking at. And the first page shows the county's records of where vandals are. The second page is where this group came in here and went through the entire city and GPS mapped every manhole, every catch basin, every parking lot drain, every backyard drain that they could find. And it was all done through Jack Delhaney Company, Hayes Delhaney, paid for scholarships for young men out of the Ginn Academy down in Cleveland to spend a 6-week training course where they would learn how to use the state-of-the-art GPS locators and satellite equipment. And then they came here with some supervisors, and they went through the city and they broke it down into grids and GPSed everything that we have concerning our infrastructure in the streets. And all that information is going to be downloaded to the county, to Lee's office, and also to us. We'll get a copy of it as well, with the software program that comes with it as well. And all the GPS mapping that they did is within 8 inches of where the manhole is. The old records are between 3 and 6 feet. So if you were looking for, the county was looking for a manhole, it could be anywhere within 3 or 6 foot diameter location area, but this comes down to 8 inches. So it's very precise. It is free. It didn't cost us a thing. They did it for free because the Delhaney group is doing this basically to help the students. The students that did work with us from the Ginn Academy, 3 of them are going to go into the engineering field because they thought this was something that they would really benefit from. And the 4th young man wants to be an environmental lawyer after seeing how the infrastructure works within the system. Kind of tweak them a little bit more, so all the kids are looking to advance themselves into engineering or into some kind of government area from what they did this summer with us.
Nice.
As I said, it didn't cost us anything, and it does increase our city assets because there are more manhole covers and catch basins than the county knew or that we probably even knew, so we're gonna get a final total on that, and our next time we do a city asset capital, we'll know exactly how many things we have, and we get a better picture of how we're gonna look after that. The biggest thing that really helps us on is that we have a natural disaster here in the city, whether it be a tornado or flood or anything, earthquake, happens here, but we do get floods and we get tornadoes. And if the whole street was covered with debris, as you would see in a tornado scene, if we needed to know where those manholes were or catch basins were, they could be under 3 or 4 feet of sludge. And all we gotta do is take the phone, as well as the phone, put a GPS marking on it, and then we stand right over the top of it, and we can dig down and get to our sewer system, and we have to do something to check it out. So it's very helpful, and the whole program is also geared for us to maintain them, to document repairs. It would be great for when people have residential problems, we can put it all into a record, and if it's a continual problem, we'll know that, and we just go look at the records. But it was something that I like to see. The only other thing I have is that Carl, we're working on 9 joint repairs right now. Our guys are fixing 9 areas on Carl. The pool is closing, and still baseball going on until the middle of October on the weekends. So we're still doing baseball fields over at the community park. And we'll get our new backhoe delivered tomorrow, too. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. City Engineer Lee Courtney.
Yes, Madam President, just to add to Don's report, that was a marvelous program. It created, not only did it cost anything, it can save us money in the future because we are still under EPA mandate on that. And that information will be extremely helpful. With respect to the road work since the last meeting, we've had over 30 crosswalks painted along with stop signs, along the side streets off the main routes. The repairs on Richmond Road from Highland to the Lyndhurst line have all been painted, and hopefully that work will start soon.
Great. Thank you very much. Interesting. Recreation Director Jessica Gift.
Good evening, Madam President, Mayor, members of council, and residents. We have Shred Day scheduled for this weekend on Saturday, September 26th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is open to both residents and non-residents. There's a limit of 5 bags or boxes per resident, and this service is provided at no cost to the participant. The volunteer and business appreciation dinner and concert is continuing to be planned. We have a dedicated group of individuals working to get the event organized for our guests. We're working towards having raffles available, giveaways for the attendees, and a band to service entertainment for the night. The event is scheduled for October 22nd from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Kiwanis Lodge. If residents have volunteered at a city-sponsored event in the last calendar year, we encourage you to call the Recreation Department to make reservations. Reservations are required for this event. And as a reminder, we have community conversations scheduled for next Tuesday, September 29th from 7 p.m. to 8:30, located at the Kiwanis Lodge. We hope residents will attend so that we can discuss various topics pertaining to the city with the different department. This concludes my report for this evening, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Economic Development Director Crystal Best.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor, members of council, members of the community. My report will be brief this evening. I am pleased that we are moving forward with efforts to get some properties sold in the Richmond Heights that are properties that we own
Thank you. Mr. Linting?
A question that Councilwoman Morgan usually asks about the demolitions of the two homes that we're waiting for, also the gas station. Is that going to happen before the post office paving or after?
Really, Council.
Yeah.
The two houses, in speaking with the land bank about 2 weeks ago, I both spoke with them as well as exchanged emails. They said they were still on schedule to demolish the two houses, 450 Richmond Park West and one on Highland, by September 23rd. Well, we know September 23rd is tomorrow, so I will follow up and see. I haven't heard anything suggested to actually happen tomorrow, but they said they were still on schedule to do it this month, and that they would handle all of the necessary utilities being removed and disconnected. And so at this point, I'm hopeful that it will still happen in the next few weeks, but I don't think it's going to take place tomorrow. As far as our gas station on Chardon Road, at this point, we have given the land bank permission to notice to proceed to go ahead with the analysis of brownfield cleanup as well as the remedial action plan. It is in the hands of the Carla Offer at the Ohio EPA. She is reviewing it, and as soon as she has reviewed it, we should get it back and we can make it public. There's so many different hands involved that we need, but because there's so many different hands involved, it's just taken a long time. But that is where things stand right now. We should be able to, this is definitely good news. The sign, the Ohio EPA sign that we had created a month or two ago, and it was just sitting in limbo waiting until we were ready for that next step. That sign can now go onto the site so that people in the community can see that progress is being made. So that's good news. I know it's not going to building me down, but at least it's a very public step forward.
Thank you for that information. As long as we're talking about gas stations, if I may, I guess I should have asked our building department, the gas station on the corner here on Richmond and Highland, next to the post office. Where is that at? I was told that was supposed to be started before the snow flies.
Yes, the owners of that station required the architect to redesign the front of the building. We just got new renderings, as a matter of fact, a couple of days ago.
Who asked for this?
The owners of the gas station and of the parcel apparently were not happy with the design that went to Architectural Review Board and was approved. The new design had a peaked roof, a very residential looking building. The design that was submitted to me yesterday for review now has a flat roof with flat, I'm not sure you would call them dormers, but flat accents over the front entrance of the building and over the drive-in entrance, or the drive-in exit, I should say, of the building. They're in my office for review if you'd like to stop and see them, but they will have to go to Architectural Review Board again, probably the first Monday of October. They haven't submitted yet, though, so I can't honestly say that they'll go the first Monday of October. When they formally submit with another set of documents and another check for Architectural Review Board, then we'll know they're moving forward.
So the setback is on...
All of the setbacks, the site plan, I believe the floor plan, all of those things are pretty much staying the same. It was really only the outside look of the building that the owners were apparently not happy with.
So the delay is on the owners?
Yeah, the delay is on the owners, yeah. It has nothing to do with the city. The city, we were told about a month ago that construction drawings were in preparation for submittal for Ohio Building Code review, and we never got any construction drawings, and now we know why, because they were redrawing the outside of the building. And the roof, which would have been I'm sure, a wood truss roof before, will probably now be either wood or steel bar joist, because it's a flat roof now. So hopefully, we'll see that project go to Architectural Review Board soon, and then they will hopefully be able to start the site work and the underground improvements over the winter months so that they can start the building in the spring.
Do you think that we should have them start cleaning that property up a little bit? I mean, I was thinking that, seeing that they're gonna be tearing it down and putting up a new structure, give them a little slack because of that happening. It's an eyesore. They have the windows covered up in the old bays with insulation and signs that are coming down. If this doesn't happen in the near future, perhaps we should start looking at
Absolutely.
asking them, or at least.
I'll look into that for sure.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. O'Toole?
A question about the properties that we're contemplating selling. I know the city didn't really have to pay for those properties. Did we set a minimum bid or a minimum price for those properties, or are they going to sell for whatever they sell for?
No, the realtors are getting comparable what prices were housed in the area sold, in particular on Carl, that they're looking at the comparables, but recognizing that this house was foreclosure, it's been basically abandoned for several years and then adjusting accordingly. And I can let you know what amount there the asking price will be for the Carl house. As far as the Weathersburg house,
Vacant.
it's vacant, so I don't know what they are going to do in terms of arriving at a sale price, but they are going to give us a number and not sort of leave it open to someone to just interpret and come up with a number.
So it's going to operate pretty much like any traditional real estate sale. They'll ask a listing price, and someone will make a bid, and then council will have the first right of refusal as to whether or not we accept that, or how will that work?
Correct, so that's exactly what you just said. The listing agreement will say what the listing price is, what the offer price is, and then to see what kind of response we get, what kind of offers we get. And if there's something that seems like it's a reasonable number, then we present it to council, and nothing will be sold without council approval.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any audience comments?
Come on, say something.
Can you say your name and address, please? If you feel comfortable, otherwise, just as long as we hear your name and your address is good.
My name is Donald Holbrook, and I've been a resident of Richmond Heights for about 4 years now. And I came up here, I answered my question about the gas station. I'm sorry that I stay here at intersection, but I answered that question about the process of demolition. But I originally just came up here to get involved and, meet the residents. Like, it's easy to point the finger or, be a Monday morning quarterback, but, I wanted to be more involved, being in that ward, which is Ward 1, there's a couple of vacant buildings, and all my questions were answered, because I always thought the one gas station that's being built now, that's in Sunoco, I wanted that to be the get-go from Giant Eagle, because I get all these points. And, then you have to go to Mayfield or Lakeshore. So, but a lot of the questions have been answered tonight. So, now I keep looking at that farmer's market like, wish we can get another farmer's market here in the city. So I really got answered everything that I came up here for. But
I think I met you before, didn't I, with Start?
yeah,
And you're interested in being more involved in our city, right? That's what I think I just heard you say.
I met you a couple years ago, here with the search team.
Yes, right.
I take FEMA classes, actually next month I go to New Mexico for bomb training.
Oh, wow.
I've been doing that about 6.5, 7 years.
Really?
And for my career, I'm facilities manager for Calvin Walker and Red Ball.
Wow.
Downtown. So,
Interesting.
I mean, I'm into, safety and security. And so, I mean, I want to get involved, so
Good.
I have to learn. So, this is like my third meeting where they just so far apart.
Really?
My first one all over again, but, I have to, I just want to come up here to learn to get involved. Because a lot of good things are happening here in Richmond, like Saturday, I never been to, Mr. Greenwood Farm.
Yes.
But I didn't know it had a waterfall and, and,
Beautiful, isn't it?
we went up there just to support, our neighborhood. And I've been working with the school. I'm also part of a nonprofit called Little Giants. And we help combat childhood obesity. And we had a pilot program at the elementary school. We just got picked up today to have all year round session at the elementary school.
Great,
We
congratulations.
start in November, 6 weeks, we take 2 weeks off, another 6 weeks, take 2 weeks off, another 6 weeks. And we just required a building and use it at the old Lincoln Elementary, where we're gonna offer this a full-time workout facility for kids 18 and under, from 18 to the age of 6. But me and my partner, we're residents of Richmond Heights, so we're starting here, and we always, going to take care of Richmond first. Our building will be useful. So I just wanted to come up here and just learn the process and.
So you can make your second building in Richmond Heights next time.
Oh, we have the elementary school. We have the elementary school.
Oh, so you're going to be there at the elementary school, you're saying? You will have an office or
So
something?
we have
Location?
class sessions, it's going to be 6 weeks.
Oh, so you will.
And it starts, by the time the first 6 weeks up is when they take their winter break. So like mid-November to the end of December. But we just want to get involved. I also involved with the girls basketball team, or the ladies basketball team. Because that coach, Coach Winter, he's sending kids to college. And I don't know, city council, y'all know, but they're getting D1 scholarships. These girls are Richmond Heights residents. And I have an idea of the program with the school that we probably bring in the next couple of meetings. Well, first of all, we want to give you our district t-shirts because the girls of Richmond Heights are district champions. And I'm doing it for, to let the city know we have a lot of positive things to report.
Good.
The last couple of years, we was in the news for not so positive, but good things when we kept going. That's the main thing. We kept going to have positive things. And I don't know if the council knows, but that's one reason why I came up here, to really say thank you that positive things are still going.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I'm just like,
And the mayor and I would like to talk to you too,
Yes.
because of what with what you're working on, we really want to. So will you make sure you give me your name and number again so that we contact you, because we've been trying to work with the youth, and so we want to expound on that.
Yep,
What's your address, please?
Stop in almost any time, Donald.
We need your address.
206 Richmond Road. And I do have one concern, and it's not us, it's not Richmond. Saturday night, me and the kids and the wife were in the backyard, and we hear, I don't know if anybody reported the gunshot that you heard down the Euclid, the car chase.
On
But
Euclid?
it was so close, you can hear them. And then, I mean, we out roasting marshmallows at the fire pit, you can hear all this, and I'm like, go get in the house. And I just want to know, did Euclid ever report, because it's so close, you can hear it.
Well, our police chief would probably be more involved in that, and he's not here tonight. But
It was
we
one
can
of
follow up.
I didn't see it on the news, but it's not the same,
We have an invisible line, so you don't have to worry. They didn't
Oh,
they didn't cross it.
No, they don't come up the hill, and that's true. I mean, I live on Richmond, it doesn't come up the hill, but the fact that you can hear it, it is. But
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
for speaking up.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, but make sure you give us your information. We will move on to our old business. And we have none, so we'll move to new business.
Resolution 87, 2015, introduced by Alexander, first reading. A resolution confirming the recommendation of the Planning Commission to approve a site plan for a new cooling tower at Momentum Performance Materials Quartz Incorporated, located at 24400 Highland Road.
Alexander, do you have comments?
Yes, this is an old GE facility, and there's 4 cooling towers that are being taken down and be replaced with 1 cooling tower for the quartz project. And it's a very good thing because the new one that's going in is much quieter than the old ones. And so, like I said, this will be probably a win-win for the whole neighborhood. And this should have been done last week or the week before, but somehow got left off the agenda. I would move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 87, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution 88, 2015, introduced by O'Toole, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with BHH Affiliates LLC, DBA Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty for real estate sales services and listings for selected city-owned properties.
Mr. O'Toole, do you have comments?
I certainly do, Madam President. This is our first step in trying to move some of the properties that the city technically owns and really has no investment in, but if we can find the right buyers, we can potentially rehab or build some new tax-producing residential areas in the city. So this would allow the mayor to take that first step forward, so I will move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 88, 2015 passes unanimously.
Ordinance 89, 2015, introduced by O'Toole, first reading. An ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Richmond Heights, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2015, to amend ordinance number 67, 2015, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. O'Toole, do you have comments?
I sure do. This is our final, I think, stopgap measure to fund the televising of our council meetings until we can have a firm contract with a new corporation, ultimately some type of a new appropriation. So this additional $1,000 expenditure is a stopgap and should be the last one that we have to do. So I'll move for suspension.
Second motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes. Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 89, 2015 passes unanimously.
Madam President, I have a motion. I'd like to recommend that we draft a letter to the Ohio Historic Site Preservation Advisory Board in as much as they are currently considering the historical status of Greenwood Farm. And would like to have a letter drafted for your signature in support of that recommendation.
Second his motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yay.
Motion passed unanimously. Any additions? Correspondence? All right.
To adjourn.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks. Thanks, Human, for handling that.